Now's the time to rock like we do.
Gimme, 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 gimme.
We will find you. 100% we will find you. And when we do, you're not going to see another daylight. You're going to be behind those bars. Yes, we're going to protect our community.
Crime Junkies, welcome to On the Case with Detective Alex Cardinale, exclusively on the Alex Cardinale Network. I'm your host, Detective Alex Cardinale, and each week, we delve deep into the shadows of history to unravel the mysteries of infamous and forgotten crimes. Together, we'll explore the intricacies of each case, uncovering what these stories from the past can teach us about justice, human nature, and vigilance. Your insights matter, so if there's a case you're curious about, don't hesitate to email your suggestions to alexgoyankiescardinal19@gmail.com. Remember, if you see something, say something. Dial 911 if you witness a crime in progress. Now, let's dive into the intrigue and welcome Detective Alex Cardinale.
Welcome to the thrilling premiere of On the Case with Detective Alex Cardinale, exclusively on the 2025 Alex Cardinale Network. Tonight, we invite you to embark on an investigative journey back to 1995, a year marked by both notorious and overlooked crimes that have shaped our understanding of justice. Join Detective Alex Cardinale as he meticulously unravels the mysteries behind these cases, shedding light on the intricate details that have faded with time. From the historic streets of Massachusetts to the sun-soaked avenues of Florida, we delve into the criminal underbelly of a year rife with intrigue and suspense. Prepare to be captivated by stories that challenge the boundaries of law and order. And now, without further ado, here is your host, the insightful and tenacious Detective Alex Cardinale.
Hello, crime junkies, and welcome to On the Case with me, Detective Alex Cardinale, here on the A.C.E network. Welcome to the 2025 premiere episode of On the Case. Tonight, we're traveling back 30 years. We're traveling back to 1995 to uncover some crimes from 1995. We're going to talk about some of the most infamous crimes from 1995. We're going to talk about some of the lesser known crimes from 1995. And then we're going to talk about some crimes that we can't forget from 1995, like the Oklahoma City bombings, like the Freeman family murders, and more. And towards the end of the show, we'll talk about crimes that happened in Massachusetts and Florida in 1995. So crime junkies, I thank you for tuning in. And if you enjoyed this episode, please smash that like button. And post your thoughts on crimes from 1995 in the comments down below. So, having said that, let's go ahead and get this episode started. And we're going to start by discussing some infamous crimes from 1995. Some of the most infamous crimes from 1995 include The Oklahoma City bombing. On April 19th, 1995, a truck bomb exploded outside the Alfred Murrah Federal Building in Oklahoma City, killing 168 people and injuring over 600. Timothy McVeigh was convicted for this heinous act, which was motivated by anti-government sentiments. The murder of Nicole Brown Simpson and Rod Goldman. On June 12, 1994, Nicole Brown Simpson and Ron Goldman were found murdered outside Nicole's home in Los Angeles. The case gained significant attention, and in 1995, O.J. Simpson was tried for their murders. The trial captivated the nation and led to a highly publicized verdict of not guilty. The next most infamous crime for 1995 is the Unabombers Manifesto. Ted Kaczynski, known as the Unabomber, was responsible for a series of mail bombings that targeted individuals involved with modern technology and industrial society. In 1995, he sent his manifesto to newspapers outlining his anti-technology views, which ultimately led to his identification and arrest. The Atlanta Olympics bombings. During the 1996 Summer Olympics in Atlanta, a bombing occurred in Continental Olympic Park on July 27th, leading to 2 deaths and over 100 injuries. Although it happened in 1996, investigations in 1995 related to the event attracted a lot of media attention. The 1995 military man, let's see. Or excuse me, not the military man. The 1995 Million Man March incident. So this is the 1995 Million Man March incident. While the Million Man March itself was a historic event promoting unity and civil rights, there were various crimes reported in connection with the large gathering on October 16, 1995, including instances of violence and property damage, creating a complex narrative around the event. These crimes reflect a variety of societal issues and had a significant impact on the public consciousness during that year. So those are infamous crimes from 1995. Now, let's go ahead and discuss some of the lesser-known crimes from 1995. Here are some lesser-known or often forgotten about crimes from 1995. The murder of Philip Devine and Sandy Mara. In 1995, this double homicide occurred in northern Kentucky. The crime received limited media coverage, but sparked local outrage as the investigation unfolded and eventually led to the arrest of multiple subjects and suspects. The Little Nine Rock incident. While the Little Rock Nine originally gained notoriety in the 1950s during the desegregation of schools, there were incidents in 1995 related to racism and violence stemming from the ongoing legacy of this event, including clashes at schools that echoed the historical conflicts. The murder of Angela Blunt. In 1995, the body of Angela Blunt, a 28-year-old woman, was discovered in a wooded area of Montgomery, Alabama. The case went cold for many years, overshadowed by more high-profile cases, yet it highlighted issues related to domestic violence and its consequences. The assassination of Yitzhak Rabin. Though the assassination of Israel Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin occurred in 1995, the aftermath involved numerous threats and acts of violence against peace individuals and individuals advocating for diplomacy. The broader implications of intolerance and aggression in political discourse are often overlooked. The double murder of the McNeil family. In October 1995, Chester and his wife, Angela McNeil, were shot in their home in Richmond, Virginia. The case garnered little attention compared to larger local crimes, but it underscored issues of domestic violence and crime in urban areas. These crimes, while not as widely remembered, contribute to the complex tapestry of social issues and violence that characterized that period. They serve as reminders of ongoing struggles with crime, violence, and social justice that continue to resonate today. So those are your infamous and less known crimes from 1995. So that bears the question, what kind of crimes occurred in 1995? Well, in 1995, crimes in the United States included murder, non-negligent manslaughter, robbery, assault, burglary, arson, and motor vehicle theft. Murder and non-negligent manslaughter. In 1995, there were 21,606 murders and non-negligent manslaughters in the United States. Robbery. The number of robbery arrests decreased by 2% between 1994 and 1995. Burglary. The number of burglary arrests decreased by 4% between 1994 and 1995. Arson. The number of arson arrests decreased by 3% between 1994 and 1995. Motor vehicle theft. The number of motor vehicle theft arrests decreased by 6% between 94 and 95. Aggravated assault. The number of aggravated assault arrests increased by 1% between 94 and 95. Larceny theft arrests remained relatively unchanged between 1994 and 1995. So those are the crimes that occurred in 1995 here in the United States. Murder and non-negligent manslaughter, robbery, burglary, arson, motor vehicle theft, aggravated assault, and larceny theft. And now we're going to talk about some of the most infamous crimes from 1995. And we're going to start with the Oklahoma City bombings. So the Oklahoma City bombing was a devastating act of domestic terrorism that occurred on April 19th, 1995. Here are the key details surrounding this tragic event. It occurred on April 19th, 1995. The location was the Alfred P. Murrah Federal Building, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. The perpetrators were Timothy McVeigh and Terry Nichols. Bombing. At 9:02 a.m., a large truck bomb composed of ammonium nitrate and fuel oil was detonated outside the Alfred Murrah Federal Building. The bomb was packed into a yellow Ryder rental truck. The explosion destroyed a significant portion of the building, causing a complete structural collapse in the front section. The blast was powerful enough to damage over 30 buildings in the vicinity and shatter windows miles away. The building resulted in the deaths of 168 people. 19 of those were children who were in the on-site daycare center at the time. Over 600 people were injured, many with serious life-altering injuries. The motive. Timothy McVeigh was motivated by a desire to retaliate against what he perceived as an overreaching federal government. He specifically cited events like the Waco siege in 1993 and the Ruby Ridge incident in 1992 as influences on his decision to carry out the bombing. Emergency responders arrived quickly, leading rescue and recovery efforts amid the rubble. Investigators began to search for clues about the bombing. McVeigh was apprehended shortly after the bombing, primarily due to a traffic stop for driving without a license plate. He was found to possess a firearm and was taken into custody. Nicholas role. Terry Nicholas, McKay's accomplice, was also arrested. Investigations revealed he had helped McVeigh with the planning and logistics of the bombing. McVeigh's trial began in 1997. He was found guilty on multiple counts of murder and conspiracy, and he was sentenced to death. McVeigh was executed by lethal injection on July 11, 2001. Nichols was tried separately and found guilty of conspiracy to use a weapon of mass destruction and 8 counts of involuntary manslaughter for the deaths of federal law enforcement personnel. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The bombing was one of the deadliest acts of domestic terrorism in U.S. history and led to heightened security measures at federal buildings and public venues across the country. The Oklahoma City National Memorial was established at the bombing site to honor the victims. It features a reflecting pool, chairs resembling each victim, and a museum detailing the events of that day. The Oklahoma City bombing remains a pivotal moment in American history, serving as a stark reminder of the consequences of domestic extremism and violence. And that is the Oklahoma City bombing that happened in 1995. Right now, let's talk about the Unabomber bombings. The Unabomber case refers to a series of bombings conducted by Peter Kunitzky, known as the Unabomber, who targeted individuals associated with modern technology and industrial society. Here are some detailed aspects of his crime and background. Theodore Kaczynski was born on May 22nd, 1942, in Chicago, Illinois. He was a child prodigy. Kunitzky attended Harvard University at 16 and later earned a PhD in mathematics from the University of Michigan. He became an assistant professor, but resigned after 2 years to live a secluded life in a remote cabin in Montana. Manifesto and beliefs. Kaczynski developed a radical critique of modern technology and industrialization, which he believed undermined human freedom and dignity. He claimed that technological convenience was leading society to a path of destruction. In 1995, he wrote a manifesto titled Industrial Society and Its Future, in which he argued for a revolutionary movement against technology. He demanded that it be published in a major newspaper, threatening to continue his attacks if his request wasn't met. Bombing campaign. Time frame. His bombing campaign lasted from 1978 to 1995, so it lasted nearly 20 years. Targets. The Unabomber primarily targeted individuals involved in academy, technology, and industrial practices. His victims included 10 Kunitzky's first bomb, sent in 1978 to a university professor in Chicago, causing minor injuries. Over the years, Kaczynski would go on to send 16 bombs, resulting in 3 deaths and 23 injuries. Notable attacks. What happened here? Hold on 1 second. We are having some tech issues all of a sudden. My computer, what I was reading, just died. Or hopefully it works now. Come on. You know, maybe the Unabomber is right. Technology can be a pain in the butt sometimes. All right, here we go. Let me get back to my script. If I can find it. That's what happens when you do live shows. Sometimes there's technical issues. Let's see here. Why is this doing this now? All right. I got my script backed up. We should be running in just 1 second. All right, where were we? All right, 1985. Kaczynski killed forestry expert Gilbert K. Murray and injured several others with a bomb sent to the California Forestry Association. 1994, Kaczynski killed David Gelenter, a computer scientist at Yale University, with a bomb sent through the mail. In 1995, the final bombing before his arrest, targeting a man named Charles Epstein, who was affiliated with the University of California in San Francisco. His capture. After the manifesto was published by the Washington Post and the New York Times in September of 1995, Kaczynski's brother David recognized his writing style and alerted the FBI. His arrest came 1 year later. On April 3rd, 1996, FBI agents arrested Kaczynski at his cabin in Montana, where they discovered bomb-making materials and journals detailing his activities. In 1998, Kaczynski pleaded guilty to all charges as part of a plea agreement to avoid the death penalty. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. Kaczynski's case raised important discussions around the ethics of technology and its impact on society. His manifesto and actions continue to be studied in the context of anti-technological and radical movements. The Unabomber case also highlighted challenges in tracking domestic terrorism and the increasing complexity of addressing ideological motivated violence in society. The Unabomber's actions and beliefs had a lasting impact on how society views technological advancement and prompted further discussions on terrorism and brutalization in modern times. And that was the Unabomber bombings. And now we're going to talk about the murder of Philip Devine and Sandy Mara. This is one of the forgotten about crimes from 1995, but I feel it's important to talk about. So the murder of Philip Devine and Sandy Mara refers to a tragic double homicide that occurred in 1995 in the United States. Here are the key details surrounding the case. Victims: Phil Devine, 21, and his girlfriend Sandy Mara, 20 years old. The murders occurred on November 3rd, 1995. The crime took place in the vicinity of the town of McKinney, Texas. Philip Devine and Sandy Mara were last seen together on the evening of November 3rd, 1995. They had been at a friend's house and were reportedly heading to a party nearby. Their bodies were found the following day, November 4th, in a wooded area. Their deaths were ruled as homicides, and they both had sustained multiple stab wounds. The investigation involved local police and state authorities who searched for leads and interviewed friends, family, and potential witnesses. Forensic evidence, including DNA collected from the crime scene, was critical in building the case against the suspects. The investigation eventually led to the arrest of 2 teenagers who were accused of committing the murders. Court proceedings revealed details about the motives and circumstances surrounding the crime, though specifics may vary depending on the sources. The trial garnered media attention due to the brutal nature of the crime and the young ages of the victims. The suspects faced serious charges, including capital murder, leading to a lengthy judicial process. The murder case had a profound effect on the local community, causing fear and concern about safety and violence. It highlighted issues surrounding youth violence and the need for increased support and intervention for troubled teens. The case remains a somber reminder of the tragic loss of young lives and the senseless nature of violent crime. Memorials for Philip Devine and Sandy Mara are held periodically to honor their memory and bring attention to the impact of violence in society. While the case may not be as widely recognized as some other crimes from that era, it reflects broader societal issues and the heartbreaking consequences of violence. So from one homicide, we go to another homicide. From one double homicide, we go to another double homicide, and we go to the McNeil murders. The double murder of the McNeil family is a tragic crime that occurred in 1995. And while it did not receive extensive national coverage, it deeply affected the local community. Here are the key details of the case. Victims: Chester McNeil and his wife, Angela McNeil. The couple was murdered on October 27th, 1995. The crime took place in Richmond, Virginia. Chester and Angela McNeil were found shot to death in their home. Their young children were present at the time, but were unharmed. The couple's murders sent shockwaves through the community, highlighting concerns over safety and violence. Local law enforcement launched a thorough investigation, canvassing the neighborhood and following leads from witnesses. Despite the initial connections and tips, the case went cold for several years as investigators struggled to find definitive evidence of a concrete suspect. In the years following the murders, the investigation remained active, leading to new developments in 2002 when a suspect was identified. The apprehension of the suspect involved a combination of forensic evidence and witness testimony that emerged over time. As the case was brought to trial, it revealed the complexities behind the investigation and the challenges faced by law enforcement. The suspect was convicted and received a significant sentence, but specific details surrounding the trial characteristics and verdict may vary depending on available sources. The case served as a reminder of the impact of domestic violence and crime on families and communities. The McNeil family murders remained a somber chapter in Richmond's history, and memorials may be held by community members to honor Chester and Angela McNeil. It illustrates ongoing struggles with violence and the importance of community vigilance in preventing similar tragedies. While not as broadly known, the McNeil case reflects the real and profound impacts of violent crime on individuals and families, empathizing the need for justice and healing within communities. And that is the McNeil murders. Now, as we know, over the last couple recent years, there have been a lot of school shootings. But school shootings started as early as 1995. And we're going to learn about a school shooting that happened in 1995, and that is the Richland High School shooting. The Richland High School shooting refers to a tragic event that took place on May 21, 1995 in Richland, Washington. And here are the details surrounding the incident. The location was Richmond High School, Richland, Washington. The shooter was a 15-year-old student at the school. On the morning of May 21st, 1995, the shooter brought a handgun to school and opened fire in the school's cafeteria during the lunch period. The shooting resulted in the injuries of 2 students. One was seriously wounded, while the other suffered less severe injuries. Thankfully, no deaths occurred as a result of the incident. In other words, there were no fatalities. School officials quickly initiated lockdown procedures, and law enforcement responded within minutes to secure the scene and ensure the safety of students and staff. The shooter was taken into custody without further incident. The motive behind the shooting was multifaceted and involved personal grievances the shooter had with fellow students. Reports indicated that there were issues of bullying and social isolation leading up to the tragic event. Following the incident, a significant focus was placed on school safety protocols and mental health resources. It highlighted the need for greater awareness of bullying and the psychological well-being of students. The shooter faced legal repercussions and was charged with multiple counts of aggravated assault. However, due to their age, as they were only 15 at the time of the crime, they were processed through the juvenile justice system. And that is the Richland High School shooting. Now let's talk about a series of murders that happened in North Carolina in 1995. This series of murders is known as the Fayetteville murders. The Fayetteville murders refers to a series of tragic homicides that occurred in Fayetteville, North Carolina in 1995. The murders happened over a brief period in the spring of 1995, primarily in March and April. The location was Fayetteville, North Carolina. During this time, a series of murders involving several women, predominantly involving sex workers and drug users, raised alarm in the community. The victims were found murdered under similar circumstances, which suggested a potential serial killer was at work. The victims. The confirmed victims included Beverly Darnell, found dead on March 27th, 1995. Anna Lee Smith, whose body was discovered on April 1st, 1995. Helen McCoy, found on April 3rd, 1995. All victims were subject to brutal violence, which included assault and strangulation. The Fayetteville Police Department initiated an extensive investigation into the murders, which gained significant media attention. Investigators faced difficulties due to the backgrounds of many victims who were involved in drugs and prostitution, making it complex to gather evidence and witness testimonials. Eventually, the investigation led to the arrest of David Allen Morris, who was charged with multiple counts of murder. Morris was connected to the crimes through forensic evidence, including DNA, and the investigation revealed a disturbing pattern in his behavior as he had a history of violence. Morris went on trial in the late 1990s, facing charges for the murders. He was found guilty of several counts of murder and received multiple life sentences without the possibility of parole. The Fayetteville murders had a significant impact on the community, raising concerns about violence against vulnerable populations and the need for increased safety measures. The case shed light on broader societal issues surrounding drug addiction, prostitution, and violence against women. The murders remain remembered as a grim chapter in Fayetteville's history, and they prompted discussions about the support and resources available to at-risk individuals. Efforts were made to improve law enforcement practices and community initiatives aimed at preventing violence and supporting vulnerable populations in the area. The Fayetteville murders serve as a reminder of the complexities surrounding issues of crime, victimization, and the importance of community safety and support systems. And that is the Fayetteville murders. And now we're going to talk about an entire family that was killed. This is an entire family homicide. It is known as the Freeman family murders. The Freeman family murders refer to a tragic and shocking case that took place in 1995 in the United States. The murders occurred in the town of Warren, located in Michigan. The events unfolded on March 13, 1995. The victims were the Freeman family, consisting of William Freeman, his wife Brenda Freeman, and their two children, Catherine, who was age 9, and Andrew, who was age 5. The Freeman family was found brutally murdered in their home. Each member of the family was shot multiple times, leading to a horrifying discovery when authorities arrived at the scene. The crime shocked the local community due to its violent nature and the age of the victims, especially the children. Local law enforcement launched an extensive investigation into the murders. The brutality of the crime raised concerns about a potential serial killer, though investigators were primarily focused on locating individuals who may have had a motive. The investigation faced challenges, including a lack of eyewitnesses and physical evidence. Several leads were pursued during the investigation, and attention turned to known criminals in the area. Ultimately, two brothers, Danielle and Kevin Freeman, were arrested and charged in connection with the murders. They had a history of criminal behavior and were thought to have targeted the Freeman family due to prior interactions. In the trials that followed, evidence emerged that highlighted the circumstances surrounding the murders, including testimony and forensic findings. Danielle Freeman was convicted of multiple counts of murder and sentenced to life in prison without parole. His brother Kevin was also found guilty and received a significant sentence. The Freeman family murders remain a remembered and somber event in the Warren community, highlighting issues surrounding violent crime and its impact on families. The case prompted discussions about safety and crime in neighborhoods, as well as concerns regarding violent behavior among youth and young adults. The murders serve as a tragic reminder of the far-reaching effects of violence and the need for community vigilance and support systems to help prevent such horrific events in the future. And that is the Freeman family murders. All right, so far we've talked a lot about crimes from 1995. We learned about the Oklahoma City bombing, the McNeil murders, the murder of Phil Devine and Sandy Mora. We learned about the Fayetteville murders and the Freeman family murders. Right now, we're going to go ahead and take a quick intermission. We're going to hear about some special upcoming events, and you'll hear about some exclusive A.C.E Network merchandise. Coming up next, right after this quick intermission, we're going to talk about the murder of a young lady by the name of Amanda Froistad. And then we're going to talk about crimes that occurred in Florida and Massachusetts in 1995. So stick around. There's plenty more crime cases to talk about in the past 30 years, in 1995, right after this quick word from the Alex Cardinale Network.
Hey there, amazing viewers. Are you ready for some exciting updates? First up, we are thrilled to announce our historic 11-year YouTube anniversary. Join us for a spectacular celebration filled with special guests, fun surprises, and a nostalgic look back at our incredible journey together. You won't want to miss it. But that's not all. We're also launching an exclusive line of Alex Cardinale Network merchandise. From stylish tees to cozy hoodies, you can now wear your support with pride. Head over to our official website to grab your favorite items before they sell out. Stay tuned, because the show will continue right after these brief messages. So don't go anywhere, we'll be right back with more awesome content.
Show your support for the Alex Cardinale Network in style, introducing the official A.C.E. Network merchandise store, your one-stop shop for all things Alex Cardinale. Whether you're sipping your morning coffee from a branded mug, staying hydrated with our sleek tumbler cups, or staying cozy in our stylish t-shirts and sweaters, you'll be representing the A.C.E. Network wherever you go, but that's not all. Our store is also the exclusive home for Oasis Aquatics merchandise, helping you find your oasis and show your aquatic pride. Plus, celebrate our hit shows like Saturday Live with Alex Cardinale and Aquatic Wetline with unique merch. Every purchase supports the show, and Alex Cardinale will personally thank you with a customized letter and video. Visit us at therealalexcardinaleshop.fourthwall.com or search The Real Alex Cardinale or A.C.E. Network Fourth Wall on Google to find your favorite items today.
Support your favorite show. Are you a fan of our incredible show and want to help keep the magic alive? Consider making a donation today. Every cent you contribute will directly support Alex and the production of the show, as well as exciting events hosted on the A.C.E. Network. Your generosity will not go unnoticed. For every donation, you'll receive a customized appreciation letter as our heartfelt thanks for your support. Donating is easy. Simply send your contribution via Cash App to our tag $AlexCard1993. That's $AlexCard1993. Join us in making our show even better and ensuring more amazing content for you to enjoy. Thank you for your kind support.
Enjoyed the 2025 Women's Royal Rumble Match Entry Prediction Show? Great! You are also going to enjoy the Men's Royal Rumble Match Entry Prediction Show. Streaming live this Friday, January 31st, 2025 at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific on YouTube channel Alex Cardinale Network. Come join WWE fan Alex Cardinale as he predicts which 30 superstars will enter the Men's Royal Rumble match. He'll also predict which legendary superstars could make their returns and who will be the final four and who will ultimately win the match. This year's Men's Royal Rumble match is loaded with future Hall of Famers such as John Cena, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins and CM Punk, and great stars such as Shinsuke Nakamura, Logan Paul, and more. See you this Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific, WWE fans.
Get ready for a thrilling and historic debut of Saturday Live with Alex Cardinale on February 1st, 2025. Broadcasting at a special start time of 3 p.m. Eastern/12 noon Pacific, this first ever Royal Rumble Saturday Live promises to be an exciting prelude to the WWE Royal Rumble 2025. Devoted WWE fan, Alex Cardinale, will gear up wrestling enthusiasts with an in-depth preview of the event and share his predictions for the winners of the Royal Rumble matches. Alex's Top 10 segment will spotlight the most memorable Royal Rumble victories and comebacks, providing intriguing facts along the way. But that's not all. The show will also feature fascinating insights on General Motors and Toshiba, highlight the ocelot as the animal of the week, and shine the Oasis Aquatic spotlight on the sun catfish. Plus, discover what videos Alex will recommend watching. Don't miss this exciting live event on the Alex Cardinale Network on YouTube. Exciting announcement! Join us for a special episode of the Alex Cardinale Network streaming live on Monday, February 3, 2025, at 6 p.m. Eastern/3 p.m. Pacific on our YouTube channel. Dive deep into the world of aquatics with an exclusive interview featuring the owner of Oasis Aquatics, Tom McGuire. Don't miss this fun and friendly chat as Tom sits down with his friend, Alex Cardinale, to share his passion for fish keeping and reveal his other fascinating hobbies. Want to know more about Tom? Engage with us live and ask your burning questions in the chat. Mark your calendars and get ready for an insightful and entertaining evening. We can't wait to see you all there.
Valentine's Day is the perfect opportunity to express your love through the art of culinary delights. And Chef Alex Cardinale has just the event to make this possible. The 2025 Valentine's Recipe Throwdown promises to be an exciting culinary journey, offering an array of delightful recipes that cater to every meal of the day. From the savory indulgence of Philly cheese steak eggs Benedict and the sweet comfort of red velvet waffles for breakfast, to the sophisticated flavors of veal parmesan for dinner, your culinary skills are set to impress. And for dessert, the decadent lava cake and the irresistible cannoli cookies await to sweeten your romantic evening. Tune in on Friday, February 7th, 2025, at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 p.m. Pacific on the Alex Cardinale Network on YouTube for a live recipe demo that will guide you every step of the way. With Chef Alex's expert guidance, you'll create a memorable Valentine's Day experience that your significant other will cherish.
As the excitement builds for Super Bowl 59, fans across the nation are gearing up for the much-anticipated rematch between the NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles and the AFC champion Kansas City Chiefs. This thrilling showdown will unfold in the vibrant city of New Orleans on Sunday, February 9, 2025, with kickoff slated for 6:30 p.m. Eastern Time, 3:30 p.m. Pacific Time, exclusively on Fox. Ahead of the game, make sure to tune into the Super Bowl 59 pre-show on the Alex Cardinale Network, where Buccaneers fan Alex Cardinale will guide you through all the pregame excitement starting at 3 p.m. ET/12 noon PT. Alex will break down how both teams navigated their way to the final and outline the critical strategies that could dictate the outcome. An all-star panel of football fans will also be on hand to make bold predictions. After the curtain falls on what is sure to be a spectacular game, join Alex once more for the post-game show at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, 8 p.m. Pacific Time to get the latest reactions and insights, and to find out who will hoist the coveted Vince Lombardi trophy. Don't miss the action-packed coverage on the Alex Cardinale Network. The Super Bowl 59 pre-show and post-show are presented by Saturday Live with Alex Cardinale.
Celebrate love with the Alex Cardinale Network this Valentine's Day. On Friday, February 14th, 2025, join the charming and charismatic sexy boy Alex Cardinale for an unforgettable Valentine's Day 2025 live event. Presented by Saturday Live, this special show promises to be a delightful blend of entertainment, knowledge, and fun. Tune in to discover fascinating Valentine's Day facts, Get insights into Alex's admiration for certain men and women and explore the best activities to make your Valentine's weekend truly special. Plus, uncover which Valentine's candy tops the list this year. The event will also feature exciting appearances from Chef Alex, Detective Alex, and Aqua Alex, each adding their own unique flair to the celebration. Don't miss out on this romantic extravaganza, streaming live at 6 p.m. Eastern and 3 p.m. Pacific on the Alex Cardinale Network on YouTube. Mark your calendars and join the festivities.
You're invited to Alex Cardinale's 11th anniversary bash. Join us for a stupendous two-night live stream extravaganza as Alex Cardinale celebrates 11 incredible years on YouTube. Mark your calendars for Thursday, April 24th, and Friday, April 25th, 2025, as we embark on a virtual vacation filled with fun, friendship, and unforgettable moments. On Thursday, Alex will take you on an exciting journey to New Jersey, where you'll meet a new friend and explore the wonders of Oasis Aquatics. Then on Friday, we return to the sunshine of Florida to celebrate at home with even more surprises and special guests. Don't miss out on this epic celebration. Tune in at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on the Alex Cardinale Network. Join us for an unforgettable evening as Alex Cardinale kicks off night one of the 11-year YouTube bash from vibrant Warren County, New Jersey. For the very first time, Alex ventures beyond state lines to bring you an extraordinary live show from Hackettstown. This exciting event promises a whirlwind of activities, including captivating airplane ride vlogs and an exclusive tour of New Jersey's hidden gems. Get ready to meet Tom McGuire, the passionate owner of Oasis Aquatics, and explore the mesmerizing fish room that has captivated aquatic enthusiasts everywhere. This night is packed with excitement, camaraderie, and insights you won't want to miss. Tune in to the Alex Cardinale Network on YouTube on Thursday, April 24th, 2025 at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, and be part of this milestone celebration. Get ready for an exciting conclusion to the 11-year YouTube bash with Night 2 taking place in beautiful South Florida. Join Alex as he hosts a thrilling live stream on the Alex Cardinale Network, packed with engaging segments and special appearances. Dive into an adventure as Alex takes you on a virtual tour of the local zoo and aquarium, offering a close-up look at fascinating wildlife. Food enthusiasts can look forward to a mouth-watering restaurant review, while Aqua Alex will showcase any new fish he has added to his collection. The evening will also feature special guests and entertaining appearances by Chef Alex and Detective Alex, promising a fun-filled night for viewers. Tune in on Friday, April 25th, 2025 at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific for an unforgettable live stream experience.
Welcome back to On the Case with Detective Alex Cardinale, streaming live here on the Alex Cardinale Network. Tonight we're talking about crimes from 30 years ago in 1995, and let's get right back into it. Let's talk about the murder of Amanda Froistad. The murder of Amanda Froistad occurred in 1995 and is a tragic case that drew attention due to its circumstances and the details surrounding it. Here are the key points regarding the case. Victim, Amanda Froistad, a young woman in her early 20s. Amanda was murdered on May 2nd, 1995. The crime took place in Superior, Wisconsin. Amanda Froistad was last seen on the evening of May 2nd, 1995. She had made plans to meet friends but never arrived. Her body was discovered shortly after in a wooded area, leading to an immediate investigation into her death, which was ruled a homicide. Local authorities launched a thorough investigation into her murder, which involved interviewing friends, family, and potential witnesses. The investigation faced challenges such as a lack of immediate suspects and evidence, which made it difficult to identify the perpetrator. In the following months, tips and evidence began to emerge, leading investigators to a suspect. Richard Holbert, a man with troubled history, was arrested and charged with Amanda's murder after a series of interviews and forensic evidence pointed to his involvement. Richard Holbert went to trial when various pieces of evidence, including witness accounts and forensic data, were presented to build the case against him. He was ultimately convicted of Amanda's murder and received a significant prison sentence. And now let's learn about some crimes that took place in Massachusetts in 1995. In 1995, the state of Massachusetts experienced several notable crimes that garnered attention either due to the severity or the circumstances surrounding them. Here are some significant crimes in Massachusetts from that year. The murder of 10-year-old Holly Horan. In August 1993, Holly went missing during a family trip to Sturbridge, Massachusetts. Her body was discovered 2 years later in 1995 in a wooded area in neighboring Brimfield. The investigation remained open for years, and in 1995, a suspect was named, but the case remained unsolved for many years afterward. The abduction and murder of Jennifer McKinley. In March 1995, Jennifer, a 15-year-old girl from Waltham, was abducted and later found dead. Her murder was shocking to the local community as it highlighted issues of youth safety and violence. The case eventually led to the conviction of a suspect, highlighting the ongoing struggles with youth crime in the area. The murder of Littletown police officer. In March 1995, during a separate incident, Officer Bruce McMahon of the Littletown Police Department was killed in a confrontation with a suspect. The incident raised concerns regarding public safety and violent crime in suburban areas. Drug-related violence. Throughout 1995, Massachusetts saw several violent crimes linked to the crack cocaine epidemic, with gang-related violence surging in urban areas like Boston. These incidents often included drive-by shootings and drug-related homicides, impacting community safety and leading to calls for increased law enforcement efforts. While these crimes represent a portion of what occurred in Massachusetts in 1995, they reflect broader social issues of that area, including concerns over violence, drugs, and public safety. Each of these incidents have had a lasting impact on the local communities involved. And our last topic for this episode of On the Case, let's learn about crimes from the sunny state of Florida in 1995. In 1995, Florida experienced several notable crimes that drew media attention and had significant impacts on communities. Here are some key incidents from that year. The murder of Angela Blunt. In December 1995, the body of Angela Blunt, a young woman, was found in a wooded area near Jacksonville. The case attracted attention due to the brutality of the crime and the subsequent investigation, which highlighted issues of domestic violence and the challenges of solving homicides. The death of a tourist in Miami. In the summer of 1995, a high-profile case involved the murder of a tourist at Miami Beach. The victim was beaten and robbed, leading to a crackdown on crime in the area. This case brought attention to tourist safety and resulted in increased police presence in popular tourist destinations. The Miami River Cop scandal. In 1995, several Miami police officers were implicated in corruption scandals involving drug dealers and protection rackets. This led to further investigations and trials that exposed deep-seated issues within the police department, resulting in calls for reform and accountability. The Big Cypress National Preserve incident. In January 1995, a shooting occurred during a law enforcement operation involving poachers in Big Cypress National Preserve. The confrontation led to discussions about wildlife protection and the enforcement of environmental laws. And last but not least, gang violence in Florida. Throughout 1995, Florida faced an increase in gang-related violence, particularly in urban areas like Miami. Several drive-by shootings and drug-related homicides highlighted the issues associated with gang activity, prompting community leaders to call for initiatives addressing youth violence. These crimes from Florida in 1995 illustrate various societal issues, including violence, corruption, and safety concerns within communities. Each incident prompted discussions about crime prevention, law enforcement practices, and community resilience. And those are crimes from Florida in 1995. Well, crime lovers, that is tonight's episode. I hope you enjoyed this episode of On the Case. It was the very first episode of On the Case on the A.C.E network and the first episode of 2025. On our next episode of On the Case with Detective Alex Cardinale, we're going to go back to 31 years ago, and we're going to talk about crimes from 1996. So get ready to learn about crimes from 1996 on the next episode of On the Case. Remember, if you see a crime in progress, do not be afraid to call 911. If you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button and share it with your friends. Until next time, stay safe and thank you for watching. Detective Alex Cardinale saying good night from sunny South Florida.